Hi everyone, welcome back. This is screencasting session number 2 for this professional development, and this is creating lessons actually using screencasting. So we're going to actually create our first lesson with the screencast function today. So a little bit of review from session 1, some things we talked about. The first thing was a definition, really what is screencasting? And that we said was the process of really capturing an audio and video together from a screen or some type of device into a file. This can be done through a computer, through a tablet, through a phone. Anything that has a screen capturing capability is able to make a screencast. So we also talked about what we use screencasting for. And one of the big things that has become a trend with screencasting is to really help be used towards the flipped classroom environment. And that's a student-centered environment, allows students to have really big control over when they learn and the environment in which they learn, because we're flipping what is the normal activities for a classroom. So we're taking the lecture process-based learning that we normally find in the class and putting it in the homework side through the use of screencasting, and then we take the application and practice, which is normally our homework, and putting it into the classroom time. We talked a little bit about Screencast-O-Matic, which is the software that we're going to be using for this professional development, and looking at what do I really need to start screencasting. So there's really just a few minimum requirements, and like I said before, you're probably already using them right now to view this video to make a screencast. So you need a device. I would say a computer. If you're just getting started, it's probably the easiest to use. Making sure that that has internet access. You also want a microphone. Almost all computers are equipped, but you want to make sure that yours is a good enough quality that you can hear the sound. So you make sure you check that before you start moving along through the screencasting process. And then the Screencast-O-Matic software, which we're going to talk about in just a little bit. So the topics we're going to cover today, we're going to look at the fundamentals of an effective screencast. Obviously, you're using screencasts to be more effective for your students and to create a more effective learning environment, but there's some things we need to consider when actually making the screencast. We're also going to watch a short video on how to start creating your first screencast using Screencast-O-Matic. We're going to talk a little bit about what you can use while you're screencasting. What are some of the opportunities that you can present switching from program to program? How can you save your screencast? What are some of the options? You'll see that in the video as well as once we get done and we're ready to save. And then how can you share your screencast? So how can you share this with your classmates? How can you share it with their teachers? How can you share it with coworkers? So lots of opportunities for that as well. So the first thing we want to talk about is what makes a good screencast. What are some qualities which make screencast effective? Because not all screencasts are created equal. So in doing some research, I have found some wikis that have given me some pointers that I think are really important when looking at making a screencast. So the first thing is a clear purpose. So you really want to pre-write, just like you would write a lesson plan for a classroom activity, or you would write out your lesson to figure out what the steps you're going to take throughout it. You're going to pre-write and storyboard a screencast as well, because that's going to give you an idea of what you need, what programs you're going to be using, what you need to write out, and what you need to include, what you have already, and how that can align to your standards, and making sure that it really includes the content that you want. You also need to think about with your purpose, your audience, the demographic of your audience, really what you want them to get out of it. That's also going to determine the length of your video and determine what programs and what extras that you include in there as well, and how you assess their knowledge based off the screencast. Once you've figured all that out, then you're going to determine the space of your screencast. So if you're using a computer, one of the first things you want to do is make sure that your desktop is pretty clear. This is something a lot of people don't think about. A lot of people have lots of stuff on their desktop, and that's fine. But if you're going to be using that space to be screencasting, and you're going to be transitioning from program to program, people are going to see that desktop. So you just want to make sure that it's clear, or at least nicely organized. So if you have lots of files, you can put them in folders so that people don't see all of the clutter. You also want to make sure that you capture just what you want to show on your screencast. With Screencast-O-Matic, you have the option of adjusting the screen to as big or small as you want. That's going to determine the file size. But if you don't want them to see some of your clutter, you can actually crop the screen so that you only see what you want. Once you've figured out your space, you need to think about the transition. So if you are going to move from program to program, are you going to talk through them as you move? Are you going to edit it so it's a seamless transition? Just thinking about those things is important. And the last thing really before you actually start making your screencast is the narration. So what you're going to be talking through as the visual component is going. So you want to use a script or notes. I always have a piece of paper written out, kind of bullet points about things I want to talk about. It just really depends how much you write on how comfortable you are talking. And it's going to be different because you're used to talking in front of a large group of students, and now you're going to be talking to a computer screen. So realize it will feel different, and that's okay. You also want to think about how you talk, being slow and clear. This is something that I have had to work on, really slowing down and making sure that I'm clear. And one way that I do this is that I actually have test run some of my scripts, and I listen to myself and make sure that everything is understandable. So the first few times that you make a screencast, you might want to go back and actually listen to yourself and really make sure that everything is clear. So let's begin. So if we click on this is a Screencast-O-Matic link. I'm actually going to go to my account. I'm already logged in here. And you can see I already have some uploads. We have our test run, and I have our video from session 1 uploaded here. Now, something we didn't do in session 1 that you'll need to do is make sure that you download the install. So that's this first button over here on the right. So when you click it, what you'll see, if you're on Windows, you'll see your little download button pop up. If you're an Apple, you'll see it pop up as well. You'll just want to make sure you follow through the instructions once it downloads. Each computer is a little different depending on if it's a Windows or a Mac. So just make sure you follow through with that. And once you do that, then you'll be ready to go, and you'll hit this Start Recorder button. Now you'll notice I'm going to hit this Start Recorder button, and it's going to pop up with this little box at the bottom that says it's already open. Obviously, I'm already recording for you right now, so I can't record 2 things at once. So instead, we're going to watch this video from Screencast-O-Matic. It's a great little introductory video that kind of shows how that window and process is going to look.
Welcome to Screencast-O-Matic.com. To get started, click the Start Recording button to go to the screen recorder page. If it's your first time, you may be prompted to download our Screen Recorder Launcher to use the recorder from your browser. You can also click this link to install the recorder as a standalone application on your Windows or Mac PC, so you can run it outside the browser. After you get set up with the recorder launcher, then you can refresh the page to launch the recorder. When the recorder starts, you'll see a black and white frame with a menu for the recorder controls. You can choose to record just your screen, webcam, or both the screen and webcam using these buttons. The free recorder is limited to create 15-minute recordings, but you can upgrade to the Pro Recorder to make it unlimited. You can drag and resize this frame to record anything on your screen, or choose from some standard HD sizes or full screen recording. The recorder will be set up to record the default mic on your computer, or you can select a certain mic using this button. If you're on a Windows PC with Vista or later, then you can also record the computer audio if you have the Pro Recorder. When you're ready to record, click the Record button, and all of the action inside of the frame will be captured. You can pause and resume the recorder, preview your recording, and restart if needed, or click the Done button if you're finished recording. After you click Done, a new window will appear where you can choose to save the recording to a video file, upload to Screencast-O-Matic.com, or YouTube. If you upgrade to the Pro Recorder, then you get a lot more uploading options, which you can see by clicking this icon. The Pro Recorder also adds editing tools to cut, zoom, blur, add overlays, and much more. That's it for this quick intro. For more tutorials, click on the Tutorials link at the top of the page at Screencast-O-Matic.com.
So this kind of gives you just a little overview of how you're going to set up and really start your first screencasting experience. It's really simple and straightforward. As you can see, it's really clear and the program is really easy to use. Since you have a free version, you're not going to have all of the editing functions, and that's okay since your video is so short. This is really just for you to practice and see kind of how this whole process works. So I want to talk just a little bit about what can be used while screencasting. So really anything and everything you see can be used while screencasting. So as you know, I've been using Keynote to kind of walk you through this process. That is obviously one program that you can use. I've also been playing some YouTube videos for you as well. Here's the Screenomatic YouTube page, which I highly recommend. They have a ton of tutorial videos like the one you just saw, including ones for the pro, and kind of see how they've been used otherwise with other people. So they share other people's use of Screencast-O-Matic as well. So I highly recommend this. I'm going to put this at the end of the reference pages so you can come back to this as well. So obviously the internet, anything on here, any YouTube, any music that you play through your computer, you're going to be able to hear through the Screencast-O-Matic. So if you have a certain piece of music that you want to include in a PowerPoint, or if you just want to pull it up and let them listen to it, that's completely okay. And you'll be able to hear it through the screencast. In terms of programs, any of these programs, so if we do Microsoft Word, any of these programs that you see here, if you want to pull up a list of things, you can make this list here. I'll pull it over so it's center. You can type anything in it you want. It'll change as you record. So like I said, the possibilities are pretty much endless in terms of what you can use while screencasting. As long as it's on the screen and as long as you have some audio to go along with it, you can screencast it. So you kind of have, it's up to your own imagination to create whatever you would like to do. So I'm not going to save this. So the next thing we really want to do is save. So as you saw in the video that you can save as a video file, which I will show you here on my desktop. I have a file here. I have lots of files in here actually. It'll actually save as an MP4. So here is my first one. Here is session 1. So you can see,
hi, welcome to the first session of your professional development on learning how to use screencasting in your classroom.
it plays just like a video, so that people can actually download it if they'd like, and you can keep it saved on your desktop. The other thing you can do is upload it to Screenomatic, which is what we're going to do. So make sure that you click uploading to Screenomatic for our process. And then at that point, you're going to have it under My Uploads. You notice I have 2. And at this point, we're going to make sure that we will have it ready for sharing. So you'll want to, if you scroll over this and you click on it, you'll see that it can actually pop up in your uploads and it'll actually play.
Hi, welcome to the
However, we don't want to do that. We actually want to look, and these 4 little icons will pop up. So obviously the trash can means delete. You can actually edit the info for your screencast, but this is the one we really want to focus on first, and that's where we choose our channel. So we want to make sure we created a channel. There was my test run I created in the first video, but I'm actually putting this one under my professional development channel. So we want to make sure we click this little arrow with the 4 lines, excuse me, and you want to select the channel. So this one's selected for professional development screencasting, and you click OK. It's still going to appear under your uploads, but now you're going to include everything in the category that you want. So for example, my test run, I click here, it'll pull up, it's under test run 1 as well. So make sure that you put your video into your channel as well. The last thing you're going to want to talk about is sharing it. So you're going to use this little link here. When you click on it, it's going to give you a couple of options. You have your direct link, which means you can just copy and paste that into anything you want, email, or put it on a PowerPoint that you can embed. There's also a custom link, so you can actually make your own link based off the Screencast-O-Matic website. You can also embed in code, so if you want to put it straight directly into a website and you like doing coding or using HTML, then you can do that as well. And you can download it as the MP4, as we saw earlier, as a video file. So for this assignment, you're actually going to be using the direct link will work just fine. So your assignment for the end of this session is to create a short screencast, just 1 or 2 minutes about something you already teach. So if there's a PowerPoint that you already use, an introductory activity that you'd like to screencast, anything that you want, and it doesn't even have to be the whole thing. This is really just a practice on using the Screencast-O-Matic system and learning how to screencast. So I'd hope for you to use something you already have so you don't have to worry about the storyboarding part as much. We're just really looking at using the software. So once you've done that, make sure you upload your file to the Screencast-O-Matic site, just like you saw earlier, and make sure that you share that link with me so that I can see your progress. And last but not least, a few references for extra help. I talked about the fundamentals of good screencasting in the beginning. I actually got that from a wiki page, which has a lot of good ideas in terms of screencasts. It's called Screencast Academy, so I put that link there in case you have any questions about that. Also, there's another YouTube video from EdTech that has some great tips on terms of determining length and determining lighting and all of the little extra things if you want to kind of delve deeper into that. That video is really good. And also I gave you a link to Screencast-O-Matic's YouTube channel, which I think is great. They have all those tutorial videos on there, including the introductory one that you saw in this session. So I look forward to meeting with you guys in session 3, where we're going to add interactive components. So good luck until then.